Aptly named. I'm beginning to think it was foolish to buy this company. Whose idea was it?
Ned's.
Oh? Well, where the hell is Ned?
That's my cue.
Can we get to the bottom of this fiasco?
It's not a total fiasco. The insurance will cover our losses, and Lucy swears she can explain about the drugs.
Oh, yeah, Ned. I'm sure she thought all the little white powder was bath talc.
Well, Junior, I see you're finally putting all your talent to good use. Monica, you look chipper.
Well, I am very well rested, and everyone has been trying to feed me. I'm going to have to go on a diet soon.
Fat chance. Just a little pun.
Not even a decent pun.
So, we're waiting for Lucy, huh?
And Catherine.
God help us. I hope we're done with this meeting before Bobby and I have to take a flight out to Phoenix tomorrow.
What flight?
Oh, we're going to close out Paige's apartment and bring some things back for Emily.
Oh, we'll just take the ELQ jet.
I was told it was unavailable.
For you, it's available.
Well, thank you, Ned. Do you think we could leave tonight?
Yeah, I'll take care of it right after the board meeting.
Well, good morning, Hughes, and it's a very lovely morning, isn't it?
Save your energy, Lucy. You're going to need it.
Edward, how is that leg of yours?
Well, it's just as good as new. Now, can we get down to business?
Do we have to wait for Catherine?
Maybe she won't show.
Good morning. Am I the last?
Hoping to make an entrance?
Well, Lucy, your day of reckoning.
More likely yours, Kathy.
I hate to tell you this, Lucy, but your golden parachute is full of holes.
No brawling, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, place your bets.
Let me make one thing perfectly clear.
Where have I heard that before?
Fasten your seatbelts.
Before this gets out of hand, as CEO, I am now calling this meeting to order. So everybody, sit.
There were no drugs on that truck when it left Deception. I personally checked the contents, and I watched as it was chained and locked.
The drivers?
They came from our Chicago distributor with the highest possible recommendations, and they were bonded. They would have had to break the seal on the truck to put the drugs inside. And the police found bolt cutters on the floor of the garage where Scully and his men were arrested. I think it's very obvious what happened. I mean, would they have had to cut the chains if they'd already been cut before? No.
Wait a second. You're saying the drugs were never on the truck, that they were always in the garage, and that Scully is lying about this entire thing?
Yes, of course he's lying, and he had to make up a cover story. Oh, come on. Who are you going to believe? A crime lord or me?
Well, you were seen draped all over said crime lord at a number of occasions at Luke's.
Who was to know he was a crime lord? After all, I just thought of him as a friend of Sonny's from New York.
Hello, Lucy. That probably should have been your first clue.
Oh, I see. So Luke is a criminal because he hangs out with Sonny. And what about Brenda? You know, I think it's just sour grapes, AJ, on your part because she chooses to hang out with him and not you.
The drivers came from Chicago.
Yes, Louis Logan and Al Sabiates. Edward, what is so funny?
Oh, nothing. Perhaps his mother was a classicist with a sense of humor. That's
How so?
Alcibiades was an Athenian general of somewhat questionable loyalty. 5th century BC Peloponnesian War. Right?
Well done, Alan.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
This isn't a seminar on ancient history, people.
I do feel, however, it exonerates Mr. Sabiates.
Well, be that as it may, it still does not address the deplorable bottom-line status of deception, nor the long-term results of reputed drug involvement, not to mention Lucy's abduction.
Or the company's lamentable management recently.
Shut up, Catherine. We wouldn't be here if you...
As you were saying, Lucy.
I was just saying we wouldn't be here if you weren't so totally predictable.
Well, the alternative to incompetence is that you were a silent partner in a deal that went bad, and Mr. Scully was just venting his anger.
I don't think we should bring up the subject of silent partners, do you?
Let's get back to the business at hand.
Well, admittedly, Lucy used very poor judgment in associating with this Scully person, but that's hardly grounds for dismissal.
Well, thank you, Edward.
However, your failure to inform us of the hijackings is far more serious.
And I promise I will never, ever do that again. You see, I was just very desperate to handle this situation myself. And I did, up to a point.
She's right. Joe Scully is out of the way. Deception's shipment problems seem to be resolved, and the balance sheet is already looking up.
And here's the deal. If Deception hasn't fully recovered by the first of the year, then I will tender my resignation. But please, at least give me that much time.
How foolish do you think we are? May I point out, during my tenure, Deception prospered. Since Lucy has taken it over again, it sank like a stone. I move to have her replaced as Deception's president immediately.
Is there a second? Motion denied. Any other business?
Not that interests me.
This meeting is adjourned. Congratulations, Lucy.
Let's get down to work here.
It was nice of Ned to offer you the jet.
Certainly was. We gain a whole day and we can bring back many more things.
You have the list.
I have the list.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm so sorry I'm late, but I was at home and I was having a heated debate with myself over what the proper attire is to wear on a private jet.
You look smashing.
We're going to have trouble keeping the pilot in the cockpit.
Oh, well, now there's an idea. This trip is sounding more interesting by the minute.
I'm so grateful to you both.
Now, enough already. Are there any last-minute instructions?
I suppose my books are too heavy to carry on the plane.
Definitely.
Well, now, do you have a few favorites?
Wrinkle in Time, Little Women. Oh, Secret Garden, 21 Balloons.
That's enough.
Listen, we'll send them Air Express. It'll be 2 days, tops.
They're sort of like old friends.
Isn't that wonderful? Gee, maybe if I'd had a few book friends instead of just Miss Kirby, I'd be a lot smarter today.
Okay. Who is Miss Kirby?
She was this very sweet, tacky creature with frizzy blonde hair and an impossibly tiny waist. This is my favorite doll. She lost one of her legs early on. I think she lost it when I hit Luke over the head with her. I used to pretend it had been amputated in a circus accident. I used to operate on her every once in a while. Without success, I might add.
No wonder you became a nurse.
Gosh, my dolls are pretty ordinary compared to that.
Any doll that is loved is far from ordinary.
I don't play with my dolls much anymore. But I miss having them beside my bed.
Well, they are on the list. Now, are you sure these are the only pieces of furniture that you want to bring back? Vanity and bench, gilt-edged mirror, and the walnut chest of drawers?
Yeah, those were my mother's. Everything else can go to La Mesa, except my wedding china that we can put in storage, I guess, until Em can use it, and the few pieces of family silver.
Ah, we'll bring that back with us.
Oh, how can I thank you?
Just take care of yourself.
Emily and I will see to that.
Okay. Okay, Bobby, we better get going.
I'll see you out.
Okay. What's that? Little Women. Ah, I wanted to be Jo so much. She was so spirited and independent.
Jo was nuts. She had a perfectly gorgeous rich boy next door.
Laurie.
Yeah, Laurie, who thought the world of her, and she turns him down. Thank goodness Amy had the good sense to snatch him right up.
Spend the rest of her life giving teas and socials to silly old women like Aunt March.
Works for me.
Oh, but what about death? After all these years, I still know the name of the chapter when she died. The Valley of the Shadow. Every time I think about it, I want to cry. Must have read it a couple of dozen times. I thought they were just the perfect family. The mother, the father, and all the sisters. Of course, this is obviously from an orphan's point of view.
You did all right. You made your own family.
I did better than all right. But if I hadn't had Gail, I don't know what would have happened to me. I was very lucky.
Well, I think Emily's lucky, too.
She's got a mom who loves her, who has given her a very solid sense of herself. And when it comes time for her to face all that she's going to have to face, she's going to have you to help her through it. And you'll know exactly what to do, because that's what Gail did for you.
Bobby, sometimes that thought just overwhelms me.